Welcome, everyone. This is season 2, episode 9 of I Got Time podcast. I'm your host, Mrs. Honeybee of the motherfucking Hiiiii. It's a pleasure to be recording this podcast today for you all, including myself, because I'm really recording it for me. But you guys get to benefit off of it because I love me so much that I do everything that I love to do. And it just so happens that everything I love to do just so happens to also benefit the world around me. And so I'm very grateful that all of you are here today listening to my podcast. And I personally think that we're going to have a really great time. Today, I feel like we're going to talk about the pleasures of using the less dominant side of your body unless you're ambidextrous. If you're ambidextrous, then you're probably already better than the rest of us. And so you can leave now, or you could sit here and bask in your greatness with the rest of us learning about being ambidextrous and practicing ambidexterity. So let's get into it. With furthermore, the conversation is now about to begin. Okay, so this all started because I was watching TikTok, and there was a lady on TikTok who said something about, or maybe this was Twitter, or maybe this was Threads. Don't quote me on exactly what it was, because I be on social media a lot. Like hella a lot. And so I saw this post on social medias, and the post said, using your less dominant side of the body to brush your teeth will create new neurological pathways, which is really good for your brain. And I read that and I said, oh my God, like I totally have done something like this before. Like I totally have used the left side of my body, which is the less dominant side it used to be until I started practicing. And it really opened up new neurological pathways for me. What that meant was my brain started operating differently, meaning it started thinking new thoughts, delivering to me new thoughts. It started communicating to my cells in a new way. I totally felt way more confident after I felt frustrated at first. But myself immediately went into, I believe myself, I trust myself. Why am I acting like this? And so I totally opened up this realm where this new character, this new version of self came forward. And so I was like, wow, let me try today to get dressed utilizing my less dominant side of the body. So for me, again, that was the left side. So I brushed my teeth with my left hand, opened my toothpaste, opened my toothbrush, because I have my toothbrush in like a cute little green little case. And then I got in the shower and used the left side of my body to like hold the shower head, to hold the towel, to grab the soap, to moisturize the towel. So that way the towel was prepared with the soap to be washed on my body. I utilized my left hand to wash my body. I utilized my left hand to dry my body off. I also allowed the left side of my brain to activate and initiate my movements. I also allowed for, now let me say this, I believe the left side of your body is actually controlled by the right side of your brain. And I believe the right side of your brain is actually masculine, but the left side of your body is actually feminine. And then I believe the left side of your brain is actually feminine, but the right side of your body is masculine. And so it's almost like the feminine side of the brain is leading the right side of the body, but then the masculine side of the brain is leading the feminine side of the body. Or you could say that they are housing one another, or hosting one another, or activating or initiating one another, which would be positive and negative, if you will, which would be push and pull, which would be they need to have a catalyst for the other to be initiated. Amen. Now, what are we going to do with all of this information? So I love to say that ambidexterity is a way for you to experience physical balance. Balance is something that provides you with a harmonious inner experience. And I'm always talking about the inner reality because that is what allows for you to have an external reality that is going to mirror exactly what your mind is desiring to experience. When you decide that you're going to practice dexterity and you're going to improve upon your nature of being ambidextrous, yourself is then telling your own physical body, I care about you and love you so unconditionally, so much, that I'm giving you the opportunity to not just experience harmony in the mind by having thoughts that are positive, uplifting, motivating, and inspirational, but I'm also going to allow you to have an embodiment experience that is going to be working in tandem with that mentality, so that way you have a harmonious mind, body, soul connection. So then your whole entire existence and human experience is one that feels like you actually want to live this motherfucker, because it's not like yourself is fighting against yourself, or like yourselves are fighting against yourselves. Now, I want to tell you about my experience practicing ambidexterity. When I had my shower experience and my get ready experience earlier today, I was doing so much transmuting because I realized in my mind that my left side being less dominant at the time. You love how I say that, right? I say that in the way in which I now exist, because this morning I had not used the left side of my body as a dominant side in a long time, so it was less dominant. But I practiced this morning consistently for like 2 hours, and I felt myself shifting in real time. So I'm going to, in real time, also embody the new language, because why the fuck would I use old language and say my left side is still less dominant when I'm now using it, bitch, and she told me she's dominant. That was also a part of the experience, period, bust down. And so a part of my practicing ambidexterity experience is allowing myself in real time to affirm myself positively as someone who is trustworthy. Because my left side was less dominant, right? My left side of the body was telling me she was frustrated with being, because she didn't feel support. And what I had noticed in real time was that my right side of the body had stopped moving. So while I was trying to bathe my body with my left hand, my right arm was acting as though the bitch was frozen by Piper Halliwell. And so I unfroze her, because I'm a witch too, and I decided that I was going to allow my right side of the body to support my left side. What then ended up happening was I discovered that I could actually support my right side of the body leading, with my left side of the body also following. That then awoken me to the realization that my body felt so lopsided, because when one side of the body was leading, the other side was not following, because they did not support one another, because they did not know that they could. Why did this happen? Because growing up, I was taught to follow instructions. And so one side of my body was always going to be less dominant, or ill-used, or not used at all. Let's say, for example, that I was using the left side of my brain, which is feminine, which is creative. Now, if I was using that part of my brain in the beginning of my life, but I was taught to follow instructions, I maybe would have been creative, but I would have been always judging, criticizing, and I would have always been judging, criticizing, and questioning my creations, as opposed to just delivering them, loving them, appreciating them, and valuing them. This would have been because I would have been taught to follow external authority figures or external beings over myself. I wasn't taught to trust myself as a kid, because I was a child living in a reality of another person, and in their reality, it was dangerous for children. And so they taught me to always be under them, near them, and do what they would do or think how they would think. Thus, me not choosing to live a reality where I would trust myself over my parent, because I wanted to make sure that I stayed safe. I wanted to be alive. I needed to survive. So now that I'm out of survival mode, this part of my body, this part of my brain that has been ill-used or less used or questioned, I'm now able to utilize and also trust, and then also affirm as well. And with that, I want to take a quick pause, because bitch, I was long-breathed, long-winded, bitch, and going all the way the fuck in. Let's inhale through your nose. Once you reach the top, take a moment, a second. Let's plateau. Let's ride the waves, and let's exhale. Letting the energy release out of our feet, letting our body soften, letting our limbs soften, letting both sides of our body join together as one, river and ocean, becoming unity, harmony. Yes, darling. Do we feel better? Relax the hands, honey. One more breath. Inhale through your nose. And as you reach the top, darling, you're going to ride the waves, and then you are going to exhale and let the energy out of your feet into the earth, the ground beneath. Yes, darling. Fabulous job. Fabulous. So let's get back into the tea about ambidexterity. Period. Bars. Thank you, honeybee. So when it comes down to it, your harmonious experience in your physical body does have a lot to do with how much you use both sides of your brain, allowing both sides of your brain to lead the motherfucking show. You can do it. It might feel a little bit uncomfortable in the beginning, but you positively affirm yourself while you're having the experience, allowing for yourself to come into embodiment of self-trust. That's what I have learned. When you practice ambidexterity and you embody it, you allow yourself to expand upon the reliance of yourself being trustworthy. You allow yourself to trust yourself making innate decisions that you don't have to think about. You allow for yourself to also feel supported completely. You also allow for yourself to feel provided for, and you allow yourself to experience what I think is abundance, because you don't just have one side doing everything, which is possible because a lot of us have done this for so long, but now you have both sides supporting one another, and so you feel like life itself is much lighter to carry. My recommendation is to try and practice ambidexterity, or to practice ambidexterity. Either one. It's okay if you try it, you don't like it, you give it up. It's okay if you do it and you give it a shot and it works. Either way, it's not good, it's not bad, it's not anything. It's just something for you to try out, to attempt to go for, to see if you like it. Okay? Understand that as you're having this experience, you're going to awaken to new thoughts. And I mentioned this earlier in the podcast episode. When I say you're going to awaken to new thoughts, what I'm saying is you're going to start to realize that there's a version of yourself that thinks differently. When I activated the left side of my body, or when I activated the right side of my brain, so that way the left side of my body can be dominant, what I noticed was, boom, myself started to operate in a way that felt more confident. The more that I said, babe, you got it. I don't know how to lead you. I don't know how to guide you. I don't normally let this part of my body lead the show. So I'm just trusting that whatever you're doing is correct. I had nothing to go off of. So my level of confidence was through the roof. And I started to notice that I didn't think as negatively when my left side of the body was leading the show. I didn't go through as much turmoil internally, emotionally, when my left side of the body was leading the show. It was like she was this big ass kid who was just really excited to live, do her thing. She didn't have no worries. She wasn't worried about bills. She said, bitch, fuck all that shit. I'm here to just be alive. If I don't even have a house to stay in, a pot to piss in, or a bed or anything like that, I still got the tools that I need for myself to still be able to deliver what I want to deliver, bitch. There's a lot of motherfuckers out there in the world, even with kids, bitch, who are showering at the motherfucking Planet Fitness, girl. And that's just what they do. They'll sleep where they sleep at. They'll figure out how to do what they got to do, but they'll shower somewhere where they pay $10 a month for it to be able to host their motherfucking luggage, bitch, and be able to take a bath. And it's just like, is that the most ideal reality? I don't know. Maybe. Sometimes we try to equip ourselves with this type of reality, or we try to equip ourselves with this type of world, or these assets, or these materials or cereals that really make our life more complicated. Like, think about it. How many people are living a life right now where they are struggling to pay their rent? They're struggling to pay their $1,500 a month or what have you. And they're like, but I got to keep a roof over my head. I got to keep it this. I got to keep it that, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, but you want freedom so bad, but you're struggling to hold on to what you're holding on to. Let it go and see what happens. But the idea of letting that go feels so detrimental. And I'm also talking about myself. Myself has now come to a place where I'm like, bitch, I'm gonna pay the rent if I have the rent. But if I don't have the rent, girl, I'm not gonna struggle to try to pay it. I'm not gonna force myself to get the money and struggle in my own body to experience some type of harmony because I don't have this taken care of and blah, blah, blah. I'm just not trying to give myself that level of stress. I don't think it's worth it. And I've watched my parents and my family members and my friends go through so much turmoil internally because they couldn't keep up with their bills or even their simple life pleasures or conveniences. And honestly, I think that if we stop trying to force ourselves to maintain the household, the car, the this and the that, the job, and I think if we like collectively let that shit go, like as a collective, as a human race, we'll be in a much better place because we're not trying to maintain something that's stupid. How many of us say it's dumb as fuck that we pay rent to live on earth when the bird just picks up twigs off the ground, bitch, and makes the most comfortable bed for her and her kids, you know? And then the kids leave the nest and she dismantles the nest and migrates to somewhere else and say, bitch, I'm going to go get my coochie ate by a new nigga. You know what I mean? And so I just personally feel like, you know what? Let me let all this shit go because I ain't got no kids, I ain't got no husband, I ain't got no wife, I ain't got no partner, I ain't got nothing that I need to take care of. At the end of the day, girl, I could sleep on the streets. I've already done it before. Like, is it the most comfortable experience? Absolutely not. However, at the same time, it just kind of is what it is. I'm still having all the tools that I need to do the things that I love to do. I'm loving my life right now. It looks like the universe loves me being who I am right now. And I'm just accepting that. I'm a little bit scared at the idea of, oh my God, I don't have rent. But at the same time, the rent always ends up showing up. So fuck it. Bitches just be playing late fees. But at least I'm liberated. At least I'm happy. At least I love myself. At least I'm having fun. Yes, there's some hiccups in the reality, but I don't think it's meant to be perfect. If this shit was meant to be perfect, then wouldn't I have stayed where the fuck I was? And that's something else that recently came up for me. Myself said to me, bitch, you're not going to live in a realm on earth that is going to be unconditionally loving 24/7, that is going to be all light, no motherfucking shadow, that's going to be all understanding and wise, and you're not living that reality on planet Earth. This place is going to be beautiful, but it's going to be beautiful because of how you allow yourself to accept the duality that is already existing here. You're going to be accepting the polarity that's already existing here. It's not going to be because the whole world done turned into some magical fucking fairy tale land, bitch, and now it's this magical, beautiful place. Bitch, even the fairy tale world got shit going on, girl. They got the Maleficent and the evil queen and the motherfucking Ursula, bitch, and that's only because some motherfuckers like King Triton wanted you to believe that the motherfucker wasn't doing nothing shady, but the motherfucker was nothing but shade. Amen? Ashe. Own daughter didn't even like him. Okay? Move. And so, at the end of the day, I think that sometimes what we think is where the grass is greener. I think a lot of the times, I think every time we think where the grass is greener, we end up discovering that shit ain't green over there, girl. That's motherfucking turf. Okay? It's turf. It's built to look like that, bitch. But that's not what it gives. No. So with that being said, you guys, thank you for listening to season 2, episode 9 of I Got Time podcast. I am your host, Mrs. Honeybee of the motherfucking Hiiiii. Go and enjoy yourself. Go live your life. Go do your thing. Try out ambidexterity. See how it works. Start off just brushing your teeth. Maybe you want to do the whole shebang boodle that I did today. Moisturize with your less dominant side. Allow yourself to get dressed. Allow yourself to activate, the toothbrush and all of those things. Allow yourself to truly let the less dominant side of you lead the show and see how your day flows. See how you like it. See if you like it. Allow yourself to eat with the less dominant hand. I learned as well. It slowed me down. I had to take my time. I've also been texting with the less dominant hand. Like, it is just such a beautiful fucking experience through and through and through and through. My body is saying, girl, cut the fucking episode. I'm done with this shit, girl. I want to be over it. So I'm going to do it. I love you guys. I'll see you later.